John from Point Reyes, California, he said a lot of teams lost their playoff card last year. Shame on you, John, when it came to the 12 teams. So who are some first-time playoff teams that you're watching for this year? Okay, these are not predictions. These are merely possibilities. Texas A&M never made the playoff. So we're talking about since 2014, teams that have never made the playoff. They've got, I think, a more clear offensive identity this year. They will be able to run the ball. If Marcel Reed elevates his game at quarterback, there'll be good enough pass catchers around him. And Mike Elko will take that defense by the throat this year. So they will certainly not be as poor as they were in big moments last year. They've got the sixth best odds to win the SEC, which if you've got the sixth best odds in that conference, that means you're a fringe playoff contender. So I would say A&M. Another one that I've got on my radar, I hinted at this earlier tonight, is Georgia Tech. I think Georgia Tech is a legitimate contender in the ACC. They've got the fifth best odds in the ACC. I've already bet on them. So I've backed this up with my own money. Haynes King is there again. They've got excellent program identity. They are 26th in returning production. And look at the schedule. They get Clemson at home early in the year, and they get Georgia at home late in the year. If they split those games, look at the rest of it. None of these are gimmies, because Georgia Tech's talent roster is not going to be at a point where they can ever afford to throw the helmet out on the field and think they're going to win a game. But they don't play Miami. They don't play Louisville. They don't play SMU. If they were to get that Clemson game early, then everyone would start buying this. I'm just trying to buy it before then, because they could lose the Clemson game and still make it, honestly, if they just went out. Texas Tech has got the best odds to win the Big 12. If Texas Tech does nothing more than do that, they're in the playoff automatically, because the winner of the conference is going to go to the playoff. You just got to count on portal magic playing out here. Talked about this last show, I think, about how much talent infusion they've had from the portal. And that's the long and short of it. There's still a lot of mystery and intrigue around that team because there's so many new pieces, and they're not depth providers. They're bringing in their starters. That's pretty much what they've done. Ole Miss has still never made the playoff, and they should have last year. It was a big, big missed opportunity that Ole Miss did not make the playoff last year, but they could do it again this year. It all comes down to how much you believe in Austin Simmons. They've got a lot of confidence in him there at quarterback. They've got the fourth best odds to win the SEC, really more so than any of that. LSU at home, they go to Georgia, they go to Oklahoma. That's back-to-back weeks on the road. They got Florida at home late. I want to know what last year did to them. Organizationally, I want to know what kind of impact dropping the ball last year has on them. What kind of sense? Let me cut in really quick and ask, look, prayer hands, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And if you think you're subscribed, check and make sure. Over 50% of you aren't. It's free, it doesn't sign you up for anything, and it helps us keep the show free, college football year-round, the way God intended it. All right, back to the clip. What sense of urgency do they have as a program this year? Because they could very well make the playoff this year. They'll still be that good. And Illinois, I mentioned them earlier in the show. Illinois has got the fifth best odds to win the Big Ten. They're top 10 in returning production. They return a quarterback. I think they'll be really good defensively. They're at Indiana and then Ohio State and USC. Those, not in that order, but they play those three teams in a 4-week stretch. There you see it. At Indiana, USC, Ohio State, they played those three games. 2 of them are at home in a 4-week stretch. That will define their season. Also not a team that can mail it in and roll the helmet out there and win games. But if they get through that, that will only be early October. And if they get through that stretch, even if they just split, if they just lose one of those games, they'll be on the playoff radar at that point. And that'll be new territory. No one's really lived in a world where we talked about Illinois in the playoff, but it could happen. It could very well happen. So those are the teams out of the ones who have never made the playoff that I would list.